Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss 2 new interviews with Neve Campbell, where she once again speaks out harshly against Spyglass Media Group, which is the studio who made Scream 5 and the current Scream 6, with further claims of sexism against the studio. But amidst all of that, there is a silver lining, which is she's actually open to returning. Let's go. So Neve was just interviewed in People magazine and also Entertainment Tonight for an update on her decision to not return for Scream 6. Now let's see what she had to say in the People interview first. The headline reads, Neve Campbell on whether she'd return to the Scream franchise. I don't know that I'm done for good. And the article begins, I don't know that I'm done for good, the actress tells People in a chat surrounding her partnership with the American Red Cross. It would really depend on what they came to me with next. It would have to be different. It would have to be a different attitude, and I'm not sure that's going to happen. If they came to me with a number that felt right, that felt respectful, and that felt in keeping with my value that I brought to the franchise, I'd be willing to consider returning in the future. So right off the bat, the part of this that I love to see is that we're hearing Neve openly speak about whether or not she would consider coming back. And the big answer to that is a resounding yes, which I'm so happy to hear. Because I've been talking about it a lot here in live streams and in videos about how when it comes to Scream 7, if we're trying to get Neve back for 7, which is what I'm hoping for, we don't know, how bad that bridge has been burned with the studio heads at Spyglass. We don't know, with these business executives, we don't know how bad it's been burned. If it's been completely burned, like there's no chance, or if it's repairable. And now Neve has, by making these comments, has come right out and said that, they would have to come with a different offer. It would have to with a different attitude. But if they do that and they come with a number that feels right and respectful, keeping with, with her value, she would consider returning in the future. So guys, this is a huge, huge plus for us as fans, that the idea that we could have Cindy, Prescott back, Neve Campbell back in Scream 7, that is awesome. So this is something I'm very happy to see. It got me very pumped up that she is open to it, saying, I don't know that I'm done for good. She's definitely open to it. So that's the good news. However, there's more she has to say. So further along in the article, she says, I don't believe it's dead in the water, but we'll see, Campbell says. But honestly, I'm really okay. I've been able to let it go. I wish them well. I'm doing 3 different shows right now. I'm very, very grateful that I'm working. I'm happy. So all is good. And then finally, in this article, she says, at the same time, I think it's important that we all stand up for ourselves and that we all feel good about the way we're being treated, explains Party 5 alum. I didn't want to make it a big political thing. I wish the actors and the directors well. I care for them. I'm sad to not be with them. I hope they had a good experience on this one. I don't want there to be I don't want there to be bad blood. So again, we see her iterating here. I don't believe it's dead in the water. So she's definitely open. But then of course she says, we'll see. Because obviously the ball is really in the court of the Spyglass business executives and the studio heads who are negotiating and controlling the money. They're the ones that are going to have to come through here. Neve is going on record saying, I am open to the idea. I'm willing to come back to the franchise, make this thing right, and I'll consider returning. So that is, again, good news. But I also, think it's important what she said about standing up for herself, and if she's like, if she doesn't feel that she's being treated fairly and this is not the right offer, it's not a fair offer to her, then she should stand up for herself and do what she did. So I applaud her for that. I think that's great. I think you should do that too. And if anyone ever treats you in a position where you don't feel like it's honest, honestly reflecting your value in life, then you should stand up for yourself. So well done, Neve, again. And I think also it's worth noting that she wishes the actors and directors well. So again, I want to reiterate what I have said many times, which is this is not a radio silence issue, guys. So I know for a while when this all broke, there were a lot of people, not necessarily in this community here on my channel, but I observed social media posts. A lot of people were coming after radio silence, calling them out for not treating Neve right. This has zero to do with radio silence. They are directors of the film, sure, but they have nothing to do with the budget. This is strictly between the studio business execs, the studio heads, and Neve. Nothing to do. And clearly Neve here reiterates that, wishing radio silence well in addition to the actors. This has nothing to do with the creative team. So just remember that, guys. If you're still really upset about this, and I understand it, if you are, for sure, Neve got completely messed over, in my opinion. And it's okay to have that frustration on her part, as fans. But let's make sure it's directed to the right people. This is to the studio execs at Spyglass, and this is not towards radio silence. Now, last thing I want to play for you guys is an audio clip of Neve herself when she was interviewed by Entertainment Tonight. And she was asked the following question. She was asked if the door is completely closed there, that Sydney is still alive, and if they were to come to her and extend an apology or come with a new offer, is it open for future films, or is she done with that chapter? Here is Neve's response.
I'm not done with the chapter. Like I said, I care about these movies. If they were to come to me with an amount that felt in keeping with, as I said, the value that I bring, then I would certainly consider it. I wish them well. It was just unfortunate. It's not how it should have gone, And my feeling truly is, had I been a man in this franchise, 25 years, 5 movies, the offer would have been very different.
So once again, guys, she's reiterating here how she's not done with the chapter. She cares about these movies, and I have more hope than I've ever had that she'll be back in Scream 7, because she's clearly open to it if they'll just come to her with the right attitude and the right offer that's fair and reflective of her value. She is on record now, very open, saying, I'm willing to come back. I'm willing to consider it. I'm not done with this chapter of Sidney Prescott, this character. And so I really hope that they'll do that. I just don't think we'll see her in Scream 6. And I have a lot of friends in the community that really are hedging their bets that she's still going to be in Scream 6. And I hope she is. Let me just tell you right now, nothing will thrill me more. Well, maybe seeing Stu Macher, but no, outside of Stu Macher, nothing will make me happier than seeing Neve Campbell show up at somewhere in the end of this movie as a cameo, leading us up for 7. That would be amazing. But I have to tell you, honestly, my opinion right now, I just do not think we're going to see her. That's kind of where I've been there for a few weeks now. And after reading this and hearing this, I'm staying there, because the reason I go back to is that it's not like a Garfield situation. This is a situation where she is still, even in these interviews, being very sharp towards the studio. I mean, she ended this last comment by saying how, it's unfortunate. This is not how it should have gone. She says, right, she clearly says, my feeling is that had I been a man in this franchise for 25 years and 5 movies, the offer would have been very different. So she is even still today, 2 months later, calling out the studio heads at Spyglass and Lantern as being sexist. It's right there, guys. You heard it. So I just don't see a studio saying, hey, why don't you go on the press tour and keep calling us sexist? Keep smearing our name in the public. That's smearing them, guys. That's not what a studio is going to want to have happen. So that's where I'm at personally. I respect everyone who disagrees with me on that. I respect your guys' views that think she's going to be there, and I have no problems whatsoever respecting you and supporting you in your view of that. And I'm the first to say, I hope you're right. But I just personally don't share the view. I don't think there's any chance she's going to be in it at this point. Or I shouldn't say any chance. There's always a chance, but I think it's a very small, like under 5%, maybe under 3%, that she's going to actually do it. Only because if she would have eased up on the sexist stuff, then I might be more on board with it, but I can't imagine a studio actually condoning a smear campaign against their executives. I just don't see it happening. So anyway, guys, this is what I wanted to share with you guys. It's the latest from Neve. It's a bittersweet. I think it's bitter because it confirms she's not in 6. Because of her language towards the studio, she is not getting off of the sexist situation, and I don't blame her. I respect her for it. However, I also do see the silver lining. There is some sunshine in these interviews that she is willing to come back. So guys, look, get her back. You guys over at Spyglass Entertainment, Lantern, whoever the business executives are making these decisions on the money, you guys, please do the right thing. Get Neve Campbell back for Scream 7. Let's get her back into that featured role that Radio Silence and Guy and James, we've heard and rumored that they want to do to close out their trilogy. Let's make it happen. Let's go. Do the right thing. All right. And again, guys, I want to say this in closing. Radio Silence and the creative team, they have nothing to do with this money situation. So I understand the passion and the frustration. I share it towards the studio, but don't ever let that be bled over into Radio Silence. They are not controlling the budget. They are given a budget. There are people that are said, hey, here's the budget. We're going to go do it and decide where this money goes. You guys negotiate the actors, sets, all that stuff. Radio Silence just says, where are we going? Let's go. And we're going to make this movie. So just remember that, guys. Do not confuse that. Again, I just had to reiterate it again. Don't confuse that frustration with the studio with Radio Silence. Totally separate. But all right, guys, here's the thing. I want to know now, what do you think about Neve's statements in these interviews? Will she be back in Scream 7? Do you believe she'll be in Scream 6 maybe? So start leaving your comments below right now. Let's discuss together on these latest comments. And I hope you guys share the hope I have that she'll be back in 7, because it sounds like she's basically waiting for an offer to come in. So that's going to be it, guys, for this update. But I will be back soon with more Scream and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thanks for watching.